Shalom Aleichem for High Adar Aleph. That's the 18th of Adar. Mishnah Yomi is in chapter 3 of Nedarim at Mishnah Hey, Mishnah 5. Now, so far we've seen Nedarim that because of the circumstances or uncontrollable events are not valid Nedarim. Now, Mishnah 5 changes the topic to a Nidre Hektish, making a neder that something is a carbon. And if that something is not able to actually be a carbon, the idea is the value of that item needs to go to purchase an offering. Hare nitiut ha'elu, behold these saplings, korban, they are an offering. Im enon niktzatzot, if they do not get uprooted. So what's going on, the Gemara says, is there's a big windstorm coming, and it's likely to uproot his orchard and destroy his saplings. So this vower seems to be saying, if Hashem helps me and protects my saplings, I will use their value, which has been saved from the storm, to bring an offering at the temple. The Mishnah brings another example, talit zu, this talit, which could also mean not just your talis, but a garment. Zu carbon im einen istrefet. It will become an offering if it does not get burnt up. Here there is a fire approaching, and it is likely this garment will be destroyed by the fire. So it seems as a stopgap measure, as a last, effort to invoke divine favor. He says, well, I'm going to bring an offering if my things get saved. So yesh lahen pidyon. These items may be redeemed. Meaning these nedarim that make these things hektish are effective, and now these items are property of the temple treasury. And if these items in question are not suitable to actually be an offering themselves, then he would certainly have to redeem these items from the temple. Otherwise, they're still the property of the temple, and he cannot use them again. And the Farshim mention, why isn't this neder a shogeg, a case of nidre shkago, because there's a storm coming, there's a fire coming, and he's pretty sure his property will be destroyed. And then it turns out he was mistaken, and these items were saved from impending disaster. So maybe it's a shogeg case. And they say, no, it's not mochiach. It's not obvious or clear what his intention was. And it could be he really meant, he was really, turning to Hashem with a full heart and saying, listen, Hashem, if you save my trees, I'm going to do something, do an offering to the temple. Now, the Mishnah contrasts this with the following case. Hare nitiyot elu carbon. Behold, these saplings are an offering ad sheyikotzitzu, until the time they are uprooted or cut down. Or talit zu carbon, this garment is an offering ad shetisarf, until it becomes burnt up. Ein lahem pidyon. These items can't be redeemed. Now, really, he can pay the money to the temple and redeem them, but because since his neder is still in effect, that until they are destroyed, they are a carbon, every time he redeems them, they are consecrated again anew as long as his neder is in effect. Let's go on to Mishnah Vav. Hanoder miyorde hayam. One takes a neder from those who go down to the sea. Now, when we say he takes a neder from them, it means he forbids himself to have any dealings, any benefit from such people. Maybe he just doesn't like sailors. Since yorde hayam, those who go down to the sea, we're typically referring to seafarers. So mutter biyoshve hayabasha. He is allowed to have dealings and benefits from those who dwell on the dry land. Mishnah goes on, if he says miyoshve hayabasha, he takes a vow against having any benefits from those who are settled on the dry land. Asur biyorde hayam. He's not just forbidden to deal with the people on the land, but also those who are regularly traveling on boats, those who are sailing the boats. He also can't have benefit from them. Why? The Mishnah says, because even those who go down in the ocean regularly, they still, lemaisa, they live on dry land. They're still, that's really the main spot. Now, in those times, even the long-distance sailors would be coming home at least once every 6 months, as we mentioned by the mitzvah of Ona and Kesuvis. It would be tzorech iyun in these days when they have nuclear submarines and aircraft carriers, and theoretically, people could be deployed for a very long time, so maybe they're considered always in the ocean, but consult your local Orthodox sailor or naval officer for details. Now, the Mishnah adds a statement, lo che'elu shehochin me'ako liyafo. It says, not like these guys who just go from Akko to Yafo, which is a short trip, Eila v'mi shedarko lefarish, those who go out to sea. They travel out in the sea, not just a little ferry from one port city to the next. So this refers back to the first case. When talking about the Yordei Hayam, we don't mean someone who just, gets on a little cruise from one city to the next, and it's a day trip, a couple of days. We're talking about guys who really, they're going down in the ocean, in the sense that they're taking long voyages or they're traveling quite regularly. Shar koach zayizont.